Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports on the iHeartRadio Network every Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time worldwide. I want to thank you so much, iHeartRadio, for bringing us on to your platform. Over 250 million people on the iHeartRadio platform. And Big C, I think that's a lot more than some of the guys you have at your house every now and then. And I also want to say thank you to all of our Latin American followers. And bienvenidos to you. Also to Univision. We'll have a fighter coming up on the program later that fights a lot on Univision. Also, you good old boys out in London, England, thank you very much, as well as Berlin, Germany, and the great country of Canada. As I like to say, oh, Canada. We're learning their national anthem, Big C. You good old boys down in Australia, as well as Dubai and Africa. Big C, I know you good old boys down south. It's kind of hot in California, but not as hot as it usually is. How's the weather going back for you guys, Big C?
Well, the weather's always hot, and I'm glad you're learning that Canadian national anthem, Charles. You got the first two words down, so you're consistent with that.
Did I miss it, Big C?
Well, it's warm, and I'm sitting here all stuffed, Charles. Last night I was going down the road, and I saw this deer laying on the side of the road and stuff. So picked him up and, brought him home. We dressed him up, made him look like a pig, and put him on the grill, and, let him sit out there all day, and now he made everybody happy this evening.
That is so funny, Big C. I know a lot of times, people think, California is a little bit different than the South. I remember I had some friends, from the South, and they said, hey, Curry, you want to go out and get a bite to eat? And so I said, yeah, let's go. So they put me in the pickup truck, and they went hunting for some wildlife, Big C. I thought we were going down to McDonald's, but I had to go catch the food like the caveman did. So you guys live a little bit different. But I will tell you, these guys were healthy and strong, Big C. So congratulations to that. I also want to say, we have the Hall of Fame game coming up this weekend, and we have the inductions for the NFL Hall of Fame, so I know that's big in your heart, Big C. Also have a lot of good things going on in the world of contracts. We know Russell Westbrook, he decided to stay with the OKC Thunder, Big C. I think he got about $86 million over 3 years. And some reporter said, so, Mr. Westbrook, what made you decide to stay with OKC? And he said the regular line, well, I like the program, I like the way we're going, and I think we have a chance to do some great things here.
Oh, so the $86 million has something to do with it. The max money that you can make over 3 years. And also, Charlton, he can opt out in the third year and become a free agent, go wherever he wants. So he's in a great situation with this contract, but also what facilitated that contract was Kevin Durant leaving, allowing more money to be put on the table for Russell Westbrook. Yeah. People think that Kevin Durant was selfish in going to Golden State. Kevin Durant optimized the opportunity for two players, for himself to win a championship and Russell Westbrook to get max money. Yeah. And you look at these idiots in the media with these idiotic questions, Charlton, that they ask these players. And that analogy all the time, dumb jock. Yeah. This goes back to Colin Kaepernick when we were looking at Colin. People say, well, he should just go to Denver and take a $7 million pay cut. Right. Okay, which one of those reporters that were always saying Colin should go to Denver, take a 50% pay cut, was willing to take a 50% pay cut to do the garbage that they do, reporting crap like that, making a player seem idiotic when they're the stupid one reporting it, though.
Yeah, and where are they now? Because, and again, I love my brethren that all the programs out there, but I just want to say before we get on that, because it's funny, he should have just said $86 million. Not that I love the team and where we're going. We just lost our best player. You're not, an MVP player. I think we're doing some great things.
Charlton, I always thought, back when Tiger Woods did a press conference about a decade ago, not even a decade ago, and trying to be contrite about his indiscretions and all of that.
He and Hulk Hogan both,
If Tiger had walked up and said, hey, this is what I did. All of you guys doing it and want to do it at the level that I do it.
See?
And this is my personal life. I don't think his golf game would have ever suffered.
Hey,
I think his golf game went along with the speech that he gave that day in trying to be contrite and apologetic for something that he was doing. He was not sorry for what he did. He was sorry for being caught. Well, okay, anybody who does that's the bottom line scenario. And just like with Russell Westbrook, liking the program, liking Oklahoma City. The tallest building in Oklahoma City is probably about 25 stories, Joe.
Yeah.
You talk about a skyline, they don't have it.
Right.
So the $86 million, as you say. This is the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
What part of this does your dumb butt don't understand?
See,
$86 million.
That's funny.
If somebody offered you $6 million, you would move tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting $86 million.
And that's why I want to say that this segment is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Escalade. Go down and test drive the all-new powerful Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you're test driving it, tell them that Charlton and Big C sent you. So again, Big C, you're so right about that. When people want to know, what you do, why would you stay any place? It's about money. There's no free anything in this world. You got to create money for people or they'll get rid of you. The last time I tried to get some free gas, nothing came out of the pump until I paid for it, Big C, which is actually, it kind of shocked me. They made me pay for the gas before I got it. I couldn't promise them how many friends I was going to bring down and buy some gas after I was done. So they said, go down and find somebody who believes that garbage. So there's no free lunch. You can fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. But Big C, I want to get into this too because this is all about the world that we talk about the Ali consciousness. And we're coming up on this great season again of football. I just love it. Football is always, to me, it makes life great again. But I do want to get into this talk. We always talk about this, and you brought it up to me. Sometimes I'm naive. They ask all the young black guys, so what makes you want to stay with the team? Is it because you like your teammates? It's like, no, it's $86 million. I mean, $86 million, they would never ask that of Tom Brady, what makes you want to stay? With the New England Patriots or Brock Osweiler, what makes you want to go and play at Houston? It's the $72 million for Brock Osweiler and the $100+ million for Tom Brady. Big C, there's still a discrepancy in the color of the athlete when they ask a dumb question. Big C, your thoughts on that?
Well, that's very true. Brock Osweiler was with a Super Bowl winning organization, could have stayed in place and most likely been back in the playoffs again, Charlton.
Yeah.
But he went to Houston.
For the money.
Saying that he wanted a fresh start.
Yeah.
That he wanted to be the quarterback.
Yes.
Well, for $75 million, Charlton, that is a fresh start. I mean, you can buy all the deodorant that you want. And soap.
Yeah.
And so you'll smell good and fresh every day. So, when players, a white player makes that statement.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a smart statement. He moved because he wanted a fresh start.
He likes his teammates.
He was the starter in Denver, Charlton, if he had stayed.
Yeah.
There was no controversy of Peyton Manning coming back. Peyton was gone.
Yeah.
Peyton had that HGH controversy, and he had to get away.
Yeah.
So, when you look at this, and then you look at the question that's asked of an African-American player, and even how people beat up on Kevin Durant
yes.
for leaving. You have opportunities in small windows as a professional athlete to win a championship.
Yeah.
When you look in the NBA right now, who has more than 4 championship rings? Wow. Nobody, other than the couple San Antonio Spurs, Ginobili, and I believe Tony Parker.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So when you're looking around the NBA, and I'm going to say 90% of the players in the NBA don't have a championship ring. So what they're looking at is optimizing their opportunities for a ring as well as money. They're going to make millions, Charlton.
Yeah.
Any starter in the NBA makes enough money in one season to set him for life if he's intelligent about moving his money properly.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's
all it takes.
Yeah.
But when you got players making $25, $30 million in a season, Charlton,
yes.
How can a reporter sit there and say, what's your motivation? Well, it's probably the paycheck I'm getting nowadays.
Right.
That I'm making more than the fiscal budget of the city that I'm in.
Yeah, and see, that's part.
That's my motivation.
That's part of everything, and that's why when we talk about athletes, and it's almost numbing how much money they make. And especially when you hear of guys that aren't even very successful, whether it was a Matt Ryan or whether it's Matt Stafford. I mean, even if
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler. They haven't.
Jay Cutler's been labeled as the worst quarterback in the NFL. You look at him. You look at Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. Down
in Miami. The Dolphins haven't made the playoffs since '98.
Yeah. Been a long time.
And then when you look at Jay Cutler, he's gone through offensive coordinators probably like you go through underwear.
Well, when we freestyle out here in California, Big C, I didn't know if you good boys knew about that, but we freestyle in California. And speaking of freestyling, this segment is also sponsored by the California Lottery. What could a buck do for you? Tonight's Mega Million is up around $30 million, and I think I'll take that one, Big C. Now, it's not the $468 million that I really think you won when you were up in New Hampshire about a week or so ago, Big C. Hey, but, we'll take $30 million. So when you think about investing, don't go out and buy junk. Take $1 and invest in the lottery. They say half the money goes to the schools, Big C. So I'm still waiting to see that portion. But what a buck can do for you, it can make you wealthy if you're lucky enough to hit those winning numbers, Big C. And also,
Charlton, as frugal as you are, that $30 million might last you a couple of years.
It might last me more than a couple of years, Big C. I won't be like Leon Lett or some of these other guys that ESPN did a feature on called Broke after they made their tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. I like guys like Floyd Money Mayweather, his kind of money. In fact, he probably has more money than the lottery, Big C. So when it comes up to the football, and again, I know we're talking about the world of boxing, we talk about the world of basketball, the contracts for baseball. It's funny because Westbrook is asked about what's making him stay. He took $86 million over 3 years. There are guys in baseball that would laugh at $86 million over 3 years, Big C. So the discrepancy in the sports, Major League Baseball, one of the most, I love it, but it's boring compared to football and basketball, but their guys make more money, Big C. Your thoughts on that?
Well, baseball has had a tremendous union, Charlton, over the years, and that's what has provided them to make the money. Baseball created free agency.
Yeah.
The late Kurt Floyd of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
All-star shortstop, 11 years with the Cardinals. Helped create free agency. He was the mainstay of that occurring.
Yeah.
All the players of today's game are benefactors of what Kurt Floyd did as a shortstop and sacrificed his career because he never played again.
Yeah.
He was blackballed, ostracized from Major League Baseball for helping create free agency suing Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
But, when you look at these players and the copious amount of contract dollars that they have nowadays, Charlton, it's mind-boggling. But it's what sports is. It's not being created from the revenue at the gate. Believe me.
Yeah.
This is what corporate America and corporate television is paying, Charlton. Well, I think the NFL's last contract was something like $8 billion.
Yeah. Chump change, but that's chump change.
$8 billion was paid to the NFL for broadcast rights.
Yeah.
That's just the broadcast rights, Charlton. We're not talking about the licensing of apparel.
Right.
We're not talking about the cable, local cable networks that pay. We're talking about the national broadcast right between four major entities.
Yes.
ESPN, ABC, CBS, NBC.
Yeah.
$8 billion, Charlton, paid by those four entities. And we talk about the lack of money put into education around the country.
Yes.
Think about if those companies were donating that kind of money into education, because if they got it to do just football and they're doing all these other sports, Charlton, how could they not help out with having a social consciousness to help our community?
well, their social consciousness is going to their bank account, Big C, making sure that the check is good, and that's part of their social consciousness. And I also want to say that this segment is sponsored by United Labor. Guaranteed life insurance up to $100,000 with no medical questions asked. And we're also endorsed by the American Cancer Society and the American Heart Association. I'm looking to hire 1,000 licensed insurance brokers throughout the country to help put people back to work again, offering life insurance that is endorsed by all the unions under the AFL-CIO. Tweet out to Charlton and Big C Sports to find out more about that. And also, Big C, I just want to say that when we think about what you just said, the whole world of money and the TV contracts, people need to understand that it's not buying the tickets that helps pay the salaries. That's some of what goes to the owners. But without the TV contracts, there would be no sports on TV. It's TV contracts and the advertisements that's paid by corporations. It's not the guy spending $50 on a ticket. That's just part of the pie, as well as concessions, Big C. But without these billion-dollar contracts, they couldn't care less if you don't come to the game, even if the stadiums are empty. And a lot of schools do have empty stadiums, whether it's college or pro. They still are on TV. They're still getting paid, Big C. Your thoughts on that?
Charlton, have you watched the baseball game lately this time of the year?
I thought it was practice. I thought it was practice sometimes.
I mean, they have more people in spring training at a game than what they have during the average Major League Baseball game at this point of the season.
Yes.
Because you've gone through that summer low. People are going back to school. Kids don't have time to go to the stadiums. And think about the afternoon games. Who can go to an afternoon game other than people for the Chicago Cubs?
Yeah.
Everybody else got a job.
Yeah, and they got to drive. What's a job have to do with going to games? I knew some good old boys down south. None of those guys worked, but they all drove Escalades and Ford F-150 pickup trucks. Some of them even had Cadillac Coupe de Villes. They didn't work, though, Big C. I don't know what they were doing for the moonshine traffic, and they were talking about, though, Big C.
Well, we had tax-free income.
Okay.
It's called retirement. Okay?
Okay.
And what comes in is dividends of your retirement. You don't have to pay taxes.
Okay, see, I learned a lot hanging out with you, Big C. I got to do more of that, okay? But I also want to say that, I appreciate everybody that gets their grind on, especially iHeartRadio Network. I've had someone call me from Salem Media, ironically, to ask me how things were going. It's so funny, Big C, because there are people who say, whatever they want to say. They think that they want to support you until they think that maybe you're going to go a little bit ahead of them. I say encourage everybody to go forward in life. But there's some people who want to know, hey, so how can I listen to the program? And I said, just download the iHeartRadio and Google Charlton and Big C Sports, and you'll see over the 100 shows that we've done. And so the reason I bring that up, Big C, is because I'm talking about Phil Knight. I sent you a link of our program, Phil Knight, and I'm looking for that $1 million sponsorship from Nike Sports, from Nike Corporation with Phil Knight. And I know that he's done a lot of pulling out of the golf tournaments, and I know that he's sold a lot of shoes, and I think he's going to look at sponsoring a program that actually has a social consciousness like Muhammad Ali talked about. You're not going to find it on ESPN or Fox. You're going to find from 1 hour to the next, it's the same kind of talk with different guests. The only thing different out there in the world that's authentic is Charlton and Big C Sports. That's why we're one of the hottest sports shows in the United States. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because it's true. And iHeartRadio has endorsed us for that particular reason. So, Phil Knight, I'm asking you, put your money behind someone who's at least conscientious. And Big C, you, unlike any other person I've heard on the air, you're trying to tell young people how to get work. You're not saying go get out your resumes and sharpen them up. You've talked to young people about understanding Ninja Trader, the stock market, how to become an entrepreneur, even how to launch their own radio program. ESPN's not trying to tell you how to launch your own radio program. Big C, what makes you give so much? Your thoughts on that?
Well, most people loathe competition, Charlton. They don't want it around. But when you can help dozens of people, Charlton, understand what direction to go in life, then you've done a purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, and what we're doing and informing these people is not something they have to pay for. It's out there that's free. Education is free. Learning how to trade on the stock market and commodities is free.
Yes.
All you need is a computer that we've been asking for them to put, organizations to put into the school systems to give to college recruits. Download a platform. Sit down. If you can play Madden, if you can play NBA 2016, you can trade commodities, Charlton. And in trading commodities, that hour to 2 hours that you spend playing these games that you know what the outcome is going to be, you can learn to be very proficient at being a commodities trader, Charlton. And that will get you through life, where those video games will not.
Yes.
And it doesn't make any difference of the ethnicity, Charlton, of these people. There's been thousands of young kids who have learned how to trade.
Yeah.
And once they learned how to trade, that was their education, Charlton, because they became economic wizards.
Yeah.
And very substantially well off, Charlton. So this is what you can do. Don't always think that you have to go out and dribble a basketball, throw a football, swing a baseball bat, or a hockey stick.
Right.
Learn how to utilize every aspect of your mind as a young person, Charlton. It's great to be athletic because it learns great camaraderie, teamwork, how to depend on others and have others depend on you.
Yes.
But in the end, you have to depend on you. And you may be the last man standing. It's like we talked about, Charlton, lately with these college coaches not wanting to release players
yeah.
to go to a particular university that they may want to go to.
Yeah.
And the reason why they want to leave these colleges generally, Charlton, because they're sitting on the bench, they're not contributing.
Yes.
And they feel that they can go to another program and contribute.
Yes.
But these coaches feel that if they're within the conference, then no, we don't want you to go there because you may help that school beat us because you're going to take some information.
Yeah.
I don't care how much information, Charlton, that a player takes with him.
Yes.
You still have to execute on both sides of the football.
Yeah, and see, that's... yeah. Go ahead, Big C.
College coaches, Charlton, can leave anytime they want. They can leave after the season, during the season, before the season. They leave a university in a quandary.
Yes.
Out there searching, trying to find another coach. And what happens, Charlton, when they go get another coach from another university? That university has lost the coach.
Yeah.
So now they're in the hunt. So you got these universities that say, hey, I will pay you more money than what you're making here. Come work for us.
Yes.
But this college athlete that's working for free can't even leave.
Well, see, that's something...
That sounds like slavery.
That it is like legalized slavery. And unlike legalized slavery, this segment is also sponsored by One Life America Life Insurance Company. I'm a broker with One Life America Life Insurance, and we are the leaders in the country when it comes to offering final expense. I'm also looking to employ over 1,000 licensed insurance brokers to help offer final expense to all of Americans to help protect and help families out there. So when you're looking for work, you can also get on Craigslist. You can also send out 10,000 resumes, or you can go to iHeartRadio, Google Charlton Big C Sports, and tweet out to me on Facebook or also Twitter. If you're looking for work, it's real time. We're looking for people who want to work and make a difference. So, Big C, I want to bring this up too because I would be remiss, and I know we're going to get into our next segment with the Blake McKeranan. He's a fighter, and he's going to be fighting on Univision, large following with that. But, Big C, I want to ask you just again your thoughts on coming up with the new induction into the Hall of Fame. I know Brett Favre, Kenny the Snake Stabler, we talked about it yesterday, and I really think that Kenny the Snake Stabler coming out of Alabama and playing with the Raiders, I think he's probably, outside of Jim Plunkett, the Raiders' second greatest quarterback, because Jim Plunkett has the 2 Super Bowl championships, Kenny the Snake Stabler has the other one. But I just want to get your thoughts again. You covering the South, the SEC and also the East Coast. What are your thoughts on a guy like Kenny Stabler? He played under the great Al Davis, a maverick of the NFL. Your thoughts about him, and also Brett Favre being enshrined into the Hall of Fame. So your thoughts on those 2 great players?
Well, you think about Kenny Stabler, Charlton, and at that time in the NFL, he was considered unorthodox because he was a left-handed quarterback. And, this was a right-handed game, and when he took over for the Raiders from Daryl LaMonica, basically their offense had to switch sides. You had your strong side tackle, your weak side tackle, all that switched. Because his blind side now, Charlton, was the right tackle.
Yes.
Not the left tackle. So things had to be adjusted for him. But Kenny Stabler was such a pinpoint passer when he played. Many people don't remember him as a runner. When he got into the pros, your legs go bad. But in Alabama, he was a great runner.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't realize that. But, he had excellent mobility inside and outside the pocket.
Yes.
But coming to the NFL, he made that transition, and he was the second Alabama quarterback, actually the third Alabama quarterback that had made that transition to win a Super Bowl. Bart Starr.
Yeah.
Won 2 Super Bowls, the first 2 Super Bowls with the Green Bay Packers. Joe Namath, we know, beat the Baltimore Colts.
Yes.
And then Kenny Stabler won a Super Bowl beating the Vikings.
Yes.
But Kenny Stabler, had really a storied career. He was that bad boy image at quarterback in the NFL. He was a trailblazer before Brett Favre was.
Yeah, before Brett Favre was.
But later on in his career, he went in this trade, which allowed Jim Plunkett to become the quarterback of the Raiders. He was traded to the Houston Oilers late in his career for Dan Pastorini. He was teamed up with the great Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
Dan Pastorini got hurt in his second game with the Raiders. Jim Plunkett went on to win 2 Super Bowls in 1980 and 1983.
Yeah. Well,
you look at how past in history, coincide with each other. And Kenny Stabler allowed Jim Plunkett to win 2 Super Bowls. Kenny Stabler won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He ended his career with the New Orleans Saints with, a very bad team.
Yeah.
But he was still a great player and a great individual. And after his playing days, Charlton, he was so involved in the local community. And that's what people don't realize, how involved and how active he was with the high school. It's like what Brett Favre does now.
Yeah.
Everybody knew Kenny. Nobody had a bad word to say about it, Charlton.
Well, see, that's very good. And speaking of not having a bad word, this final segment is sponsored by BeneathHisWingsFoundation.org. Make a donation today. It's easy, it's fast, and secure. And contact Cynthia Evans of CYNN Entertainment when it comes to promotion. She's the best in Northern California. Also by Becca Wright, the Business Cupid. Thank you, Becca, for hooking us up with some sponsors coming up. And thank you so much for all of your hard work. And also, Big C, I want to get into this because we talked about it yesterday, but we were kind of cut short before we bring on Blake McKeranan, the boxer. I want to talk about college football. They released their top 25, their coaches poll, and I'm kind of upset because I don't see USC at the top, and we all know that they returned 15 starters, and they're going to be at least in the top 5, but they have them ranked 17. They have your good old boys, Alabama, and Nick Saban ranked number 1. But don't you think Nick Saban has too many distractions? He's been angry about a lot of things, and I think he knows there's some inner turmoil going on at Alabama, players being arrested, being questioned too much by the media. A lot of people may have found his moonshine distillery, and he's a little bit crotchety, Big C. Your thoughts on Nick Saban? Why is he so mad at Big C?
Well, I wouldn't say that Nick is mad. These are stories we're getting from the media. Football is building up.
Yeah.
What does a reporter have to talk about? We talked about it early in the week, is that everybody's talking about practice.
Yeah.
Practice. I mean, guys out there don't even have on shoulder pads, and they're acting like it's a game. So you run out of enough practice vernacular to keep putting on the air.
Okay, Allen Iverson.
You dig and create controversy.
Yeah.
Stories that are meaningless.
Yes.
Saying that this is part of the game.
Yeah.
It is the ignorance of the guys who are making the story.
Yeah.
Tell me something relevant. Tell me about that freshman that is setting the practice field on fire.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about things that are not going to be relevant a month from now, Charlton.
Yeah.
But that's what we get all the time. It's like I can hear a guy talking about an NFL practice. It's like, well, he's better off right now than what he was a year ago.
Right.
Okay, so how bad was he in training camp a year ago?
Yeah.
and when we talk about Nick Saban,
yes.
What, he's been in Alabama 8 years now?
Yeah, about 8 years now.
Got what, 3-4 national championships?
Yeah, if you count them, the ones that they didn't get the benefit of the call, Big C, I'll say that.
Okay, so what is that negative to talk about Alabama about? I mean, you got programs in the SEC, Kentucky, where students can't get over the hump.
Right.
You got Vanderbilt.
Right.
Is a weak sister Wake Forest. You got these schools that are not winning.
Yeah.
And so here it is, you're beating up on your bell cow.
Yeah.
Big Saban.
Yeah.
All he does, year in, year out, put in a national championship contender.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here because you've run out of expletives to say about it.
Yes.
Here it is, you're beating up on a situation that a month from now, nobody will even remember you or the story.
Yeah, Big C, and that's very true. And as we get ready for Blake McKeranan to come on, I'm going to make sure that I get your final thoughts on this, because as we get into the world of sports, we are telling Phil Knight why you should sponsor Charlton and Big C Sports with $1 million. Big C, the next minute, I'll let you say why to Phil, and I'll get Blake ready to come on the line. Go right ahead, Big C.
Well, Phil, you were an innovator. You were a chance taker early on in your career, selling waffle sole shoes out of the back of your Volkswagen. You set the trend. And that's where we are. We are what you were. We are the guys who are going out there who are fearless, who are intelligent, and who stays on point. We're not deviating from the world of sports. We're dealing with sports and social world.
Yes.
And that's what Nike represents. So Nike has a social conscience and a sports conscience.
Yes.
But a business mind more than anything else. Well, and we would love to be in partnership with you.
Well, Big C, that sounds great. I'm going to take a chance right now to bring on Blake McKeranan, and he's a boxer, and he's one of the guys that's going to be fighting, and he's going to actually be fighting on the Univision coming up pretty soon. His name is Blake McKeranan. And Blake, I think we have you on the line right now. Can I hear you, sir?
Hey, what's going on, Charlton? How you doing, buddy?
Well, good, Blake. I was telling my partner, Big C, who's also been around the fight business for a long time, so I have you speak a little bit louder on the phone. But I'm going to just say that right now you're one of the bigger fighters coming up. I know that boxing's big, especially when it gets to Univision. And I want to thank Becca, the business cubic, for hooking you up with Charlton Big C Sports. And I want you to know we're on the iHeartRadio network, over 250 million people in their platform. We do this worldwide. We also have a following from Latin America, as well as London, England, Berlin, Germany, Canada, as well as Australia also. But Blake, while you have the chance, go ahead and talk about you, your background, and then what you can expect people to learn about you in the fight business. Go right ahead, Blake.
All right, so a little bit about me, man, is I'm local kid, originally here from Sacramento, California.
Yes.
I started getting into boxing around 10 years old. I fought off and on, and ended up leaving to the military in my early 20s. And after I had gotten out of the military, I made the decision to start pursuing a professional boxing career, and became ranked as an amateur in 2015.
Yes.
And now I'm 3-0 with 2 knockouts as a professional boxer in the cruiserweight division. And one thing I let people know is I'm here to make my name be known. So, I hope that everybody's ready. I'm trying to become the next global icon, cruiserweight world champion.
Well, I'll let you also know that, Blake, and go ahead and speak a little bit louder, too. On Charlton and Big C Sports, we cover all the sports. We even get into Hollywood. Big C has been doing this business for about 40 years. And I want you to just talk about your size. I know you're 3-0. Talk about your size and your next fight coming up also. Go ahead, Blake.
All right, so my next fight, I'm actually going to be fighting in the Top Rank Promotion.
Okay.
Which, for people that don't know, Top Rank Promotions is one of the biggest promotion labels in the industry. So I'll be fighting on that card under Univision August 27th in Fallon, Nevada. I'm just looking forward to going out there to putting on a good show, Top Rank, and all the fans and everybody in attendance on Univision. And, just moving my way up through the ranks, claim the next victory and be 4-0.
Well, that's awesome. I know that you're also a family man and you're very dedicated. Talk about what got you into the world of boxing. I'll let Big C throw the next question at you.
One thing that really got me into boxing is, I'm a kid that, had to grow up and raise myself ever since I was real young. I grew up without my parents present. So just growing up, I always had to kind of fight the fence for myself. And, just as I got older, it was something that stuck with me, and I decided to get into boxing to do something to reflect that energy to something more positive.
Well, boxing is definitely a sport, and I know Big C, you love fighting, but you guys, when you fought Big C, I think you guys fought bare knuckles back in the day, Big C. So what are your thoughts on Blake, 3-0, going to be fighting on Univision? And Big C, you know a lot about Univision. What are your questions for Blake, Big C?
Well, Blake, congratulations on being a professional and being 3-0. Univision is one of the mainstays as far as boxing in America. It is always in the Latin community. Boxing has always been huge. And how do you find the following from the Latin community? I know you see fights out in Fallon, Nevada, very hot place this time of the year. How do you prep yourself for the ring, and what's your time duration to prepare for a fight?
So, typically for me it's, I turned pro March 25th. I've been training nonstop since then. I've been fighting about every 6 weeks. And what I do when I'm getting ready for a fight, I'm training 7 days a week. 5 days of those weeks, training 6 hours a day. So it's a little bit of weight training, continuing my boxing. I do a little bit of everything, and in my mind, I just always want to be training, because I never want to outwork when it comes to fight night. I never want to feel like my competition is outworking me before we get to fight night. So I train harder than anybody I know, and I'm always in the gym, and in my mind, I'm indestructible, and training as hard as I am, not before I'm 3-0 with 2 knockouts, and until something changes, I'm not really going to change up my training camp. Everything has been working out real good right now.
Well, let me ask you this, Blake, and go ahead and speak up a little bit. It's a little bit difficult to hear you, but I want to ask you this, too, because Big C brought up the fact that you're fighting on Univision, which has a huge following, about 3 million people, and again, they can hear about us on Charlton and Big C Sports through the iHeartRadio network. But I know that you won the National Golden Gloves. Tell us about that experience, winning the National Golden Gloves to what you're doing right now, Blake.
Yeah, you guys got cut out a little bit. I fought in 2015 in the Golden Glove tournament. I was ranked number 1 in my weight division in Northern and Central California. Unfortunately, when I went to fight the number 1 fight, I ended up losing.
Okay.
My decision. But, it was just a learning experience. I knew it to look forward to. I was fighting on a bigger stage. And it just set me up to kind of keep me ready for the pro thing. Even when I was an amateur, I was already training and competing.
Yeah.
If I was a professional. So everything I went through as an amateur just really set me up to get me ready for the pros. And, I've just really been dominating that cruiserweight division.
Well, let me ask you this question. 2 more questions for you, Blake. And again, a little bit difficult hearing you, but let me ask you this question also. When it comes to the world of fights, we hear about Mike Tyson, you hear about Floyd, Money Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, how these guys make, what's the Big C, about $200 million? Was that the purse that Floyd Mayweather pulled off for he?
They live down the street from Utah.
Okay. Well, we know they pulled out quite a few fight and dollars in that fight. So, Blake, when it comes to guys like yourself, who do you look to for sponsorship? How do you find a way with Univision? How do you find sponsors that want to cover what you're doing to support you? I don't know if you have a private jet like Floyd Money Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao, but what do you do for sponsorship-wise, Blake? Go right ahead, sir.
So what I usually do for sponsorships is, as of right now, I'm just working with local companies. Obviously, as I move up in this industry and I become more branded and well-known around the country and throughout the world, like I said, I want to be the next global icon. I'm always looking to reach out to kind of work with bigger companies. So right now I'm just networking, trying to get my name out there, and hopefully as we move up, these larger companies will reach out to me and we might be able to establish a business relationship and see what happens from there.
Let me ask you this question too, Big C. I know you good old boys down south. You guys have a lot of fights, and when Big C used to fight, they used to do it bare knuckles. So I know you guys have gloves. So I don't know if you guys are as tough as the fighters from the past. I think, Big C, wasn't there a time when in fighting they did not even have 12 or 15 rounds? They just fought till the end. Big C, is that true or not?
It used to be a continuous thing early in the 1900s, but they eventually added rounds. A time limit to the round. But one of the things I wanted to ask Blake, when you're out there sparring, getting ready for fight, do you normally fight larger opponents to make sure that you have the physical endurance to get yourself through a fight?
Hey, that's funny you actually asked that question. So the answer to that question is yes. When I'm in my training camps, when I'm sparring, a lot of people don't realize that cruiserweight already is a tough weight division because most people either fight light heavyweight or regular heavyweight, super heavyweight. So for me, finding cruiserweight fighters to work with has been very challenging. So most of the time, I always work with heavier guys that are about probably 220 to 240 that are heavyweight. And I'll usually do about 6 rounds straight with them. And once I get so exhausted physically after sparring them, I'll have a lighter guy jump in there with me to do a few rounds with me to get me used to that speed and to keep me working.
Let me ask you this question too now, Blake. I think I saw a picture of you. Were you sparring with Uriah Faber? Have you ever sparred with Uriah Faber up in Sacramento?
So me and Uriah Faber are actually completely 2 different weight classes. He also does MMA. I'm just straight boxing, but I'm actually gone to Uriah Faber's gym quite a few times. I go over there to work with some of his heavyweights to get some sparring on the week. So, if you would have saw a picture, it would have been from me sparring with some of his heavyweights. And I want there. I typically do turn into Uriah from time to time.
Let me ask you this final question, Blake, and we do appreciate you being on Blake McKeranan and fighting on Univision. That's going to be August 27th. And I want everyone to tweet out to Charlton and Big C Sports. So, Blake, make sure all your fighters know they can follow this interview on iHeartRadio Network. Just Google Charlton and Big C Sports. Now, you know Dana White is part of the UFC, and you know Don King, one of the greatest promoters, as well as Bob Arum back in the day with Mike Tyson and guys like Muhammad Ali. You know, Dana White, he just did this sale of the UFC for $4 billion. Now, I think some of the only guys richer than him might be a Don King, Big C, and maybe Big C has more money than Dana White. But what are your thoughts on how Dana White's promoted the UFC compared to boxing, what you're doing? How do you think the sports compete against each other? Go right ahead, Blake.
I'm not sure if I really understood your question, so you're asking me how does Dana White compare to boxing?
Yeah, well, how does he look at how the UFC has grown? Everybody wants to watch UFC now. A lot of people say that it's replacing boxing. Don King and Bob Arum, they made boxing great back in the day of Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. So how do you compare boxing in your mind to the MMA guys like what Uriah Faber is doing? Do you think that one is more favorable by the audience and the fans now? Which one do you think is more popular?
In my honest opinion, I love all styles of fight. You know, I've always been attracted to it. You know, I think it really depends on the person. I feel like when mixed martial arts and UFC first came out and emerged, it captured everybody's attention because it was something new that nobody had ever seen before.
Yeah.
But I feel that as it goes on, that you know, people are starting to fade away from it a little bit. It still has a very large fan base, but I don't think that it will ever have the fan base that boxing has. Boxing has been around a long time, and boxing to most people is something that is more appealing to the eye to watch. I feel like it's more entertaining to watch, you know, but I can't speak for everybody. I just know how I feel and based on what I hear in the industry, and you know, I just love boxing. I love the whole style about it. And I can never see myself converting over to mixed martial arts. I'm in love with the sport of too much.
Final question I want to ask you, Blake. You can speak up and say this loud. Now, everybody has a team. You also have people that help you spar. You have your trainers. You have your doctors that work with you. You also may have some family and friends. Anyone you want to give a special thanks to on iHeartRadio Network for giving you support when you started out, and they're still supporting you to this day, Blake. Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, man. So to be honest with you, a lot of people see me in the ring fight, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes of people that actually help you mentally and physically prepare for fights. So I just want to give a shout out to my gym, Dark Star. You know, to my sponsor, Dr. V, Fighter Training Apparel, Hot 103.5, all my close friends and family, everybody that's supported me this far. And, you know, I'm very appreciative to everybody that's found that enlarged and come forth to help me push my career to the extent that it is right now. We're only going to grow larger. No, but I'm very appreciative for everybody's love and support. If anybody ever wants to stay in touch and to follow throughout my career and to follow the journey, they can all follow me on Instagram at Blake the Beast McKeranan.
Last and final question for you, Blake. Tell us a little bit about your opponent and what do you think we can expect to see when we tune in on Univision on August 27th, 2016, up in Fallon, Nevada. And again, Charlton and Big C Sports talking to Blake McKeranan, who's one of the big up-and-coming fighters you'll hear about more. Blake, tell us a little bit about your opponent and what we can expect when we see you fight on Univision.
I'm getting ready to fight. His name's Kendrick Calloway. I believe he's from Houston, Texas. From what I can see, the guy looks well conditioned. He's a big guy. But, you know, all in all, I'm coming out here to put on a show. This is my time. It's my moment. My training is superior. This dude ain't going to be able to outpoint me, outscore me. He's not going to be able to handle my speed or my power. So come August 27th on the Top Rank Promotions at Univision, you guys can definitely look forward to me being 4-0 with my third knockout, because this dude's about to go free.
Well, Blake McKeranan, that's a lot of talk. Big C, I think he's trying to back it up with words and also his fist in the ring, Big C. But I also want to thank you, Blake, for being on. Make sure you tell all your friends on Univision to follow the interview on Charlton and Big C Sports on the iHeartRadio network. So we want to thank you for being on. Also want to say that final segment was sponsored by United Labor Life Insurance, guaranteed $100,000 life insurance. Tweet out to Charlton and Big C Sports. Blake McKeranan, we wish you nothing but the best in your upcoming fights. Follow Charlton Big C Sports. You can tweet about us. You can follow us on Facebook. And we wish you all the success coming up and the big fight you have coming up, and especially on Univision. For all you fans out there listening, we want to tell you that we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.
That's what I think, guys. I appreciate the much support. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you.